Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 8 and we would like to explain you about the concept of competency and competence. Before that, let me introduce ourselves. The first member is Latifa Smayati and the second member is Viko Ari Julian and the last member is Rana Bibi. The first material will be presented by Latifa Asmahayati. To Latifa Asmahayati, time is yours.
Thank you, moderator. I want to explain about the concept of competence. Competence is the ability to integrate and apply contextually appropriate knowledge, skills, and social factors, example, beliefs, attitudes, values, and motivations, to consistently perform successfully within a specified domain. The concept of competence refers to an individually available collection of requisites to successful action in meaningful task domains. In the following, the individual aspect which dominates the social and behavioral science literature will be accentuated. An important reason to force this focus on the individual perspective is the fact that schools are primary educational setting over the course in individual development. Each single student must acquire necessary competencies and require education as preparation for his or her later social and professional life. Jadi tujuan dari si kompetensi ini adalah untuk mengembangkan individu. Jadi setiap siswa harus memperoleh kompetensi yang diperlukan dan pendidikan yang diperlukan sebagai persiapan untuk kehidupan mereka di kemudian harinya. Next. The components of competence, Cohen et al. And Gerside and Mefasena support a holistic interpretation of competence, which considers competence as a combination of context and underlying attributes, including knowledge or cognitive competence. Example, understanding of English grammar, vocabulary, phonetics, and discourse structures, knowledge of language acquisition theories and teaching methodologies, awareness of curriculum standards, and assessment techniques. For example, a teacher knows the difference between test-based learning and communicative language teaching and when to apply its approach. Number 2 is skills. Skills are functional technical competence, the ability to speak, read, write, and listen proficiently in English. Classroom management and lesson planning skills, the ability to integrate technology, example, interactive whiteboards, learning apps. For example, a teacher effectively models pronunciation, facilitates group discussion, and adapts lessons for different learning styles. Number 3 is attitude or values. Fitness, empathy, and cultural sensitivity, a growth mindset and willingness to continuously improve teaching methods. Example, a teacher encourages students to express their ideas freely, fostering a positive and inclusive classroom environment. Number 4, performance. Teaching English in different settings, example online, offline, or blended learning. Experience working with learners at different proficiency levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Example, a teacher who has taught both young learners and adults understands how to modify lessons accordingly. Competence also includes a wide range of personal attributes and qualities, for instance, perceptiveness, receptivity, openness, creativity, and social skills. That's all for me. Back to moderator.
Okay, thank you to Latifa Asmayati. The next material is about the concept of competency. The concept of the competency generally refers to about the area of focus and the result obtained for competency and competence. and behaviors that an individual needs to demonstrate to perform tasks effectively in a specific context or environment. Competency-based education, or CBE, focus on ensuring that students acquire these competencies at their own pace through personalized learning experiences until they meet a predefined standard of proficiency. Some core aspect often used or discussed in the journal regarding the concept of competency. The first one is competency framework. Competency are ranked for order of importance and desired level of attainment. Next is about assessment competency. Individual performance are given the competency model for their role and told that to be successful, they must exhibit the competencies defined in the model. Next, the learner-centered approach about built based on the competency model and are administered to assess whether individual have acquired all competency. Next is develop of life skill. Individuals are given a number or graphic indicating their area strength and weakness and compared to required level competency. Next, global relevance are given list of training, tools, information, and resource to help bridge any gaps and attain the desired level of competency. Thank you. On the next material will be presented by Vico Ari Julian.
Thank you for the opportunity. Next slide, please. I will explain about the areas of focus. As with the definition, the areas of focus are also different. With competency models, the area of focus is the definition of skills, knowledge, attributes, and behaviors that successful people have. It is thought that if other people know what skills, knowledge, attributes, and behaviors successful people have, these others will be motivated to acquire them and will in turn become more successful. Practitioners who develop competency models work with trainers, human resource professionals, subject matter expert, and in some cases managers to define the skills, knowledge, attribute, and behavior that successful people demonstrate. The desired outcome is to replicate the competencies of successful people in less successful people through hiring, training, assessment, and development program. Jadi kompetensi models ini berfokus pada pendefinisian keterampilan, pengetahuan, atribut, dan perilaku yang dimiliki oleh orang-orang yang sukses. Diharapkan bahwa jika orang lain mengetahui keterampilan, pengetahuan, atribut, dan perilaku yang dimiliki orang sukses, mereka akan termotivasi untuk menguasainya dan pada akhirnya menjadi lebih sukses. Para praktisi yang mengembangkan model kompetensi bekerja dengan pelatih, profesional sumber daya manusia, ahli materi, dan dalam beberapa kasus, manajer untuk mendefinisikan keterampilan, pengetahuan, atribut, dan perilaku yang ditunjukkan oleh orang sukses. Tujuan akhirnya adalah untuk meniru kompetensi orang sukses pada orang yang kurang sukses melalui perekrutan, pelatihan, penilaian, dan program pengembangan. Next, competence model. With competence models, the area of focus is definition of measurable, specific, and objective milestones describing what people have to accomplish to consistently achieve or exceed the goals for their role, a team, division, and whole organization. Gilbert, 1996, says, improper guidance and feedback are the single largest contributors to incompetence in the world of work. The goal of competence model is to remove this cause of incompetence by providing clear and concise guidelines to success with clearly marked and measured milestones. In other words, a roadmap to success. Because we at competence system believe that any question about needs for training has to start with what do people have to do. We first define that very clearly, then they require skill, knowledge, and key tasks and behaviors to support competence become clear. Jadi, competence model ini berfokus pada pendefinisian milestone yang terukur, spesifik, dan objektif untuk menggambarkan apa yang harus dicapai seseorang secara konsisten atau melampaui tujuan dalam peran tim, divisi, dan organisasi secara keseluruhan. Menurut Gilbert tahun 1996, panduan dan umpan balik yang tidak tepat adalah penyebab utama ketidakmampuan di dunia kerja. Tujuan dari model kompetensi atau competence models adalah untuk menghilangkan penyebab ketidakmampuan ini dengan memberikan panduan yang jelas dan terukur tentang cara meraih kesuksesan, yaitu peta jalan yang menuju kesuksesan. Next slide, please. As with the definition and areas of focus for competency and competence, the result obtained from these two frameworks are different. With competency modeling, the result is a list, graphic, spreadsheet, or interactive program that lists the skills, knowledge, attribute, and desirable behavior thought to be required for successful performance for a specific job role. One major problem is that these statements may be very broad and may not link directly to the actual day-to-day work or to the measurable result that the organization requires and pays people for. Here are three implications of this missing link that I have witnessed with several clients. The first one, people may interpret competencies differently, which can lead to variability in performance. The second is people may not see the connection between achievement of competencies and their day-to-day jobs. For example, sales reps are motivated to be as successful as possible. Their paycheck is dependent on it, but they are focused on what they need to do day in and day out to meet their goals for the quarter. Sales representatives and managers are not interested in attaining high-level skills, knowledge, behavior, or attributes just for the sake of having them, unless they see a direct and immediate application to winning more business now. The third one is managers may have a difficult time systematically assessing, developing, and coaching competencies because they are subjective, they are not easily measurable, and they are often very high level and are not directly observable in day-to-day performance. For example, one manager stated to me, "My sales organization is trying to drive double-digit growth, duplicate top performers, and decrease inefficiency and variables within the sales force. Neither my managers nor myself sees a ready-to-use, easy way to apply competency models to help our sales organization achieve these objectives. They are just at too high of a level and too far removed from what we are trying to accomplish day in and day out." Next, with competence models, the result is a framework that defines the following. The first one is the process used to generate the required result. The second one is the critical step-by-step accomplishments, related tasks, and best practice that top performers consistently achieve to meet or exceed the goals of the business. The third one is the skills and knowledge required to support achievement of critical accomplishment. The fourth is the environmental supports required to build, support, and maintain desired performance and competence levels, as well as the current obstacle constructing achievement of need result. Next slide, please. A review of literature suggests that competency and competence are two distinct approaches to studies on human resource management or HRM field. The first one is person-oriented behavioral approach. This approach commonly uses the term competencies to refer to the behaviors of or personal attributes supporting an area of work and is particularly influential in the United States. The second one is task-oriented functional approach. This approach, on the other hand, uses the term competence more frequently for describing an area of work tasks or job outputs and is dominant in the United Kingdom. Boa 1991 argued that both competency and competence complement each other. Burgoyne 1988 described being competent as achieving the job demands or roles while having competencies as demonstrating the essential behavior for effective work performance. So in table 1, the comparison between competency and competence. Competence focus on the result, describe the features of the area of work task or job outputs, constituted of the various skills and knowledge needed for performing the job, not transferable as each skill and knowledge is more specific to perform the job, assessed by performance on the job, and task-oriented. While competency focus on a person's behaviors, describe the attribute of the person, constituted of the underlying attributes of a person for superior work performance, transferable from one person to another, assessed in terms of behavior and attitude, people-oriented. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to Victoire Julian. The last material is about application. Competency model are used in a variety of ways by organization to build training, hiring, evaluation, and assessment program. The most extensive process for which I have seen them used included the following stage. The first one is competencies are ranked for order to importance and desired level of attainment. Next is individual performance are given the competency model for their role and told that to be successful, they must exhibit the competencies defined in the model. Next, self-assessment or 360-degree assessment or both are built based on the competency model and are administered to assess whether individuals have acquired all competencies. Individuals are given a number or a graphic or both indicating the areas of strength and weakness as compared to the required level of competency for the role. And the last one is individuals are then given list of training, tools, information, and resources to help them bridge any gaps and attain the desired level of competency. Okay, guys, that's all from our group. Thank you for your attention. If you have additional material or question, you can type to our group or our forum discussion at Smile UNP. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.